Four heavyweights vying for the United Nations top job. Chile's Bachelet, Costa Rica's Rebecca Grynspan, Argentina's Rafael Grossi, and Senegal's Macky Sall. Twice President of Chile, Bachelet has also served as the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. Her country may no longer back her since its shift to the far right, but she still has support from Brazil and Mexico. Washington, however, isn't as cordial, partly because of her pro-abortion stance.
My candidacy is driven by a clear vision for reform and strengthening.
Many countries say it's time for a woman to finally lead the UN. Latin America is also staking a claim, citing a tradition of geographic rotation, though it's not always followed. Bachelet fits that criteria, and so does Rebecca Grynspan. The former Costa Rican vice president now heads the UN Conference on Trade and Development. Little known to the public, she launched the Black Sea Initiative, helping Ukraine export its grain after Russia's invasion.
I said, I am not a voluntarist, I am a strategist. You have to build the relationships.
Rafael Grossi may be the most popular candidate. He's held the International Atomic Energy Agency since 2019. He has the US's backing to succeed Antonio Guterres for his focus on bringing the UN back to its core mission, fighting war.
We will have to have a Secretary General, neither a Secretary nor a General, a Secretary General that will combine these two things hopefully, in a constructive way, to be an impartial broker.
Former Senegalese President Macky Sall is perhaps the most controversial pick. 20 of the 55 African Union countries, including Senegal, oppose his bid, citing the repression of political protests at the end of his term. Sall appears undeterred.
What the charter said is, to be candidate, you have to be sponsored by a member state. Of course, ideally, it should come from your country, but if it's not, that doesn't mean that you cannot candidate.
The real power, however, lies with the permanent members of the Security Council. If they don't propose candidates, the US, China, Russia, the UK and France have veto power. The next UN chief will take office as the world body faces mounting financial pressure and growing doubts over its ability to manage conflicts.